Well, she's done. If you guys remember this one, it was a almost whole 85 and a half Escort L sedan. Well, you just call it an 86. No need to be picky. Yeah, it was almost whole, and I've stripped it down to almost nothing. There's not much left on this critter at all. Um, Literally, the only mechanical parts left on this guy are the brake booster and master cylinder here. Both of which are available new, so that's the route I'm going. I'm not going to reuse those. Because on every single one of these that I bring back to life, they've proven to be unreliable. So I end up having to replace them anyway, so why even bother? Why waste the brake fluid? Why waste the time? So, yeah. The rest of this critter's going off to scrap. Gutting it worked out pretty good. What happens usually when we do these, I've only done a couple cars now. This is my first Escort. Usually what happens is we roll her up onto the trailer, put the gantry over it, pick up one end, got it, pick up the other end, got it, lay it down on blocks if we leave the suspension on, because suspension hangs down. But there's no suspension left on this because I took it all. So it's just sitting flat on nothing. Yeah. So it'll just roll off to the scrapper this way, and what will happen is a forklift will come out, stab its forks through the windows, pick it up from the roof, and just haul her away to where she gets crushed. I know a lot of you are gonna, be ticked off about it, but you know what? It's been available for quite some time now, and no one reached out to me aside from one guy who came out. He picked up a door, the hood, the quarter panels. He even cut out the valance, the cowl, and he left pretty happy. He took a good amount of stuff off of it, but left behind is still half the car. But I kept making YouTube videos and postings in both of the FEOAs, and no one seriously interested in it. So sadly, the carcass is leaving us. But it's not all loss, because she's extremely holy. There's no title. Actually, the floor pans up front are so rough that when I was squatting in there to remove the throttle cable for, because I keep those for my other cars, the floor had finished itself off. It's all done. As a matter of fact, the subframe, because we have the body resting in the subframe popped up, and now it's bulging this railing here where the seat mounts to. But over here, it's otherwise collapsed. Same with that center section. The shell is just done. It's done. It's spent its entire life in Wisconsin, so it doesn't owe anybody nothing. But it's definitely down from the count. I took a number of body parts off it, up for grabs. The doors are staying with it. I can't store those, so they're getting crushed. But I will have some things like the fuel door that's almost absolutely perfect, straight as an arrow, zero rust. It's got a little bit of mold on the backside that'll clean off before I list it. And then I got a number of interior parts, like this is the hatch strut cover cap, goes on one of these pivots here, makes it clean and tidy. I also have one of the plastic mounts. I presume that they're hard to get a hold of, because being that they're entirely plastic, I saw that this one broke, which means I'm sure on other Escorts of this era they break. But I got a crap load of interior parts. Mostly small stuff. Pretty much everything within the dash I have. I still have all the good corner bumpers. The bad ones are still in the car. They're going. Here's some of the other interior parts I mentioned. So pretty much all that's up for grabs. What I'm keeping for myself is all the mechanical parts. The wiper motor, keeping that. The shifter, I'm keeping that. Hood hinges, I'm going to start rebuilding real soon here because I'm running out of good ones. So I'm going to start rebuilding those. And then once I get in the process of rebuilding them, modifying them so that they're stronger and don't bend, whatnot, then I'll be selling the upgraded ones to people in need. I'm keeping all the springs, all the suspension, keeping the gas tank and straps, keeping the rear hitch for now. Yep, there's the rear suspension. It's pretty neat seeing it out like this. Actually, it tickles me pink to see that. Because normally I only ever get to see them mounted on the car like so. Usually in a dilapidated shape, as you can see here. But anyhow, yep, I'm keeping the HVAC system from the car, even though the dash is going. But that way, if I have an AC car that I want to convert back to non, or vice versa, I do have some options there. So gas tank I mentioned, automatic tranny, keeping all of that, even though I don't like the autos. Bless me. A little bit of pollen in the air this cold, wet Wisconsin morning. I kept keeping all the front suspension, keeping the radiator, keeping the ignition coil. I have a really good engine mount here, which is a rare sight, at least from what I can tell. None of my other cars have good ones, so I'm keeping that. Yep, keeping the front brakes, front sway bar, everything mechanical. I'm keeping, except for the brake booster master cylinder. My plans originally were to remove the pedals, but I found out that brake pedal is unique to automatics. I'm just gonna leave that. I really don't need it, so it's just gonna stay because it's a royal pain in the butt to remove. I'm not gonna dick with that. I don't have that kind of time. I only have time for this video, and that's about it. Because as soon as I hit stop on this video, I gotta start picking up all this stuff. So I'm leaving again. Yep, all the wheels that are on it going back in the storage. I got some tires to dismount that don't hold air. Doing a lot of cleanup. But anyhow, yeah, this is what Escorts look like when they're sitting on the floor. But it was a pretty fun process. You know, I am keeping the seats at least for now. I don't have the bottom bun for the rear bench, so that top bun is just going to go with it. I don't have time to remove that. No one showed any interest in it, so it's going with the car. Same with the lock set door handles. They're going to go with the car, even though some of these door handles are pristine. It's absolutely perfect. They don't get better than that. And the rear bumper was like that. So someone actually came all the way from Michigan or Indianapolis, something like that, bought the rear bumper because it was perfect. So we did put a lot of parts to good use. Yeah, the front shock, bumper shock mounts, I removed and sent those along to somebody who needed them, and so yeah. Yep. But they'll be going real soon. Sometime this week. We head off to scrap. She'll be all done. Yep. So I'll hit stop here. Let you guys go. You guys have a good one. And then I'm gonna start packing. So catch you all later.